A lot of people have a lot of questions, especially first-time buyers, about buying a home, and they don't know where to start. The first one that I see here is actually the number one question, and I do see a lot of people getting confused about this. In fact, I had a realtor today ask for a pre-qualification letter, and what they really needed was a pre-approval letter. And so the biggest question that a lot of people are saying is, what is the difference? What's the difference between being pre-qualified and being pre-approved? So let's talk about that. Let's dig deep into that. And a pre-qualification is really the first step. That's when you're contacting me and the lender, and we are just talking about your financial fingerprint, okay? We're looking at different items. So we're looking at your income, right? We're looking at your assets, and we're looking at your credit. Those three main things, they used to call them the 3 C's, right? Collateral, credit, and capacity. Capacity is your income. So we're looking at those, and then based on your budget, it's very important to make sure you have a budget of what you can afford as far as a monthly housing expense built into your budget. But based on your budget and your down payment and your credit and all those other items that are on your financial fingerprint, we sort of back into what price point you can afford and what house price you can afford. And so we look at all that. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to go through that with you. So I don't pull credit at that point. I don't verify income at that point. I don't call your employer and verify your employment. I don't verify assets. I don't get bank statements or retirement statements at that point. We're just talking about a strategy. I just ask you, hey, what do you think your credit scores are? A lot of people have access to credit scores now. Most banking apps have your credit score on there. And, I have several different apps that have several of my credit scores on there. Most people use Credit Karma or some other things. So they have at least an idea where their credit is. So we look at all that. And then while you're telling me this information, I take the 32 years that I've been in the business and the guidelines that I know from Fannie Mae, from Freddie Mac, from HUD, and VA, the main 4 that we use. There are other institutions that we look at some of their guidelines, but we look at those guidelines and I try to match it up to you, to your financial picture, and say, hey, which one of these institutions is the best to sell your loan to eventually, is what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm thinking like an underwriter as I'm asking you these questions. I would say it's sort of like when you go into a court, right? And you have an attorney, a lawyer that's for you. That's what I would be, representing you. And the judge would be our underwriter, giving us the final approval on the loan, right? So when we're here together, we have a client attorney privilege in a way where we can talk about anything. You can tell me, hey, here are my dreams and goals. I'm doing this because of this and this and this. And it can really be an emotional and a financial conversation at the same time. Because it always is. When you're buying a home, there's always a lot of emotions and a lot of things going on along with the finances, right? So we talk about all that together and we come up with a plan. So that is your pre-qualification. If you are pre-qualified, can you go looking at houses? I wouldn't suggest going looking at houses just being pre-qualified, because I haven't been able to verify any of this information, okay? If there's anything off, it could really hurt us from being able to qualify. The next step is called pre-approval, okay? So a pre-approval is where you will go ahead and submit an application. We typically, 99% of my customers do it online. It's very easy, very intuitive. Takes about 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to put the last 2-year history of your employment, the last 2-year history of your residence. You're also going to put what your assets are, your retirement, your checking, your savings. You're going to put all that information in. You're going to give us authorization to pull credit. We're going to pull credit through the main 3 bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. We're going to take the high score out and the low score out, and we're going to use the middle score of all 3 bureaus. That will be your score we determine for qualifying purposes and for risk assessment when we're looking at your interest rates and all that and what programs to go with. So at that time, we're going to look at all that. We're going to get all that information, and we're going to take that application and we're going to submit it electronically to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac through their underwriting engine, right? They have a very strong underwriting engine that will look at all your information, and it'll pretty much come back to us and say yes or no. It'll pretty much say, yeah, this will work. Here are the conditions that you need to solve to make this a fully approved loan. Or no, it won't work. Here's why. And so we can start working on those reasons why to try to make it a yes, right? So most of the time, since we already got you pre-qualified, we already pretty much know it's going to say yes, okay? If we're surprised and it says no, then we start working on that for you and helping you. But let's just say we got a yes and we have conditions. So at that point, you are pre-approved, right? So that means that you can go looking at houses with your realtor, because your realtor will want a pre-approval letter, not a pre-qualification letter. A pre-qualification letter really doesn't mean anything. I haven't checked anything. All I'm going by is your word. And unfortunately, because we're lending you a very big amount of money, we can't just go by your word. We have to verify every single thing that you tell us. So the application gets us the ability to pull your credit, run it through Fannie Mae's automated engine, and tell us yes. That is still not verifying everything, right? So we're still not where you have a full approval, because we haven't verified through all the third parties what your income is, are you still working there, what your assets are, your liabilities, all that information we have to verify through third-party sources. We even have to go to the IRS and get your tax returns transcripts to verify it equals what you turned in for your tax returns. So there's a lot of third-party verification that we're going to do during the process of pre-approval and full approval. But at this point, pre-approval, you're ready to go looking at a house and you can write a contract. When you write a contract, when your realtor writes a contract for you, they're going to want the pre-approval letter to go with the contract, because when they're offering it to the seller wants to see, hey, here's their offer, here's the contract, and here's proof that they have done their due diligence and they're ready to buy a home. Okay? It doesn't mean they're fully approved, but it means they've done their due diligence. They've at least applied. We've looked at credit. We've looked at programs, and yes, it looks good. And so we, Churchill, are putting our name on that pre-approval letter. So that's the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. Pre-approval is really the second step. Pre-qualification is the first step. Pre-qualification doesn't mean much other than we have a plan now. Pre-approval means that you have a plan, we verified a little bit more of the plan, and up to the point where we feel comfortable sending a letter saying you're conditionally pre-approved. We'll put some conditions on there, but that's good enough to be able to write an offer, and a seller will accept that offer based on the pre-approval letter. So that's your big difference. I always urge you to do both. Some people need a pre-approval letter right away the first time I talk to them, and so we speed that up and we get it all done. No problem. Don't mind doing that. But ultimately, you're going to go through both processes either way you go. I just wanted to make that clear because it is very confusing out there. You hear people say, even like I said, realtors saying pre-qualification letter, where really what they need to put that offer together is a pre-approval letter. So I hope this helps, and let me know if you have any questions, or Let me know what your comments are if that helped.